On Saturday, the 1st of April, we were able to witness the comeback of InkTV. InkTV was the biggest tournament host back in what people call the golden age of Splatoon competitive, around 2018. For their return, they are hosting a league featuring the 8 best teams outside of Japan, and I'm recording this the day after the first qualifier for it. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the top 16 bracket and analyze how the meta has shifted after the 3.1.0 patch from last week. And I have to tell you, if you didn't like watching double V-Splash or even triple V-Splash comps and are tired of boring crab and burst bomb spam, you will love this tournament. With that said, please go check out InkTV on YouTube as well as Twitch and Twitter, where you can still go watch all top 16 matches streamed on 4 different channels. I'm also happy to announce that my team, Zero Deaths, got into the top 4 of the qualifier event and will participate in the league. This will also be the first video that's not edited by me, but Raze, who's also a high-level competitive player and video editor, so go check him out on Twitter. With all that said, let's get into it. Let's look at the very fun Excel sheet that I took about 3 hours to make, and I can already tell you that V-Splash is not the most picked weapon of this tournament, not even the second most picked. Give me 20 seconds to explain you the numbers that we will work with in this video. The top 16 bracket consisted of 14 sets on the winner's side and 12 more sets on the loser side of the bracket, amounting for a total of 26 sets. Those 26 sets, most of which were best of 5 and a few best of 3s, took 85 matches. All matches of course had 8 players, so multiplying 85 by 8 gives us the total amount of weapon picks at 680. Counting how many times a weapon was picked in a whole tournament and dividing it through the number of matches, we get the average amount of how often the weapon was picked in each match. Something I noticed both while playing and later watching the tournament was a massive increase in diversity, with 27 out of 80 or 1/3 of weapons in the game actually being played in this highest level of competitive Splatoon. Every competitive game has its own meta, there's just no way around that, but having a healthy amount of viable weapons keeps the game more exciting, especially if you have such a big pool of weapons to choose from, whereas previously we had times where we only saw 2, maybe 3 weapons in the peak of the V-Splash, sloshing and flingza meta. Both as a viewer and a player, it's much more fun to not play mirror matches over and over, and of course, not every weapon was picked the same amount, so let's look at some unique picks of weapons that were played 10 times or less. ZF Charger, Range Blaster, and Arrow Spray were each played once, but if you want to take a wild guess who played the Range Blaster, please go put it in the comments. I'm sure you know them. We saw 3 explosives only on Splatstone's Flounder Heights, which is definitely the strongest map for the weapon. I myself was the only one to play NZEP 3 times, which looking back I probably wouldn't do again. We also saw Squeezer 3 times, only played by Atomic, one if not the best Squeezer of Europe. Other weapons that were also a rare side include the Tri-Slosher played by Shinix for Ascension and U-Snipe on Full Send, A3D only played by Glash on Uprising, Slosher picked by Max on Seafoam, as well as Barry on E-Leader, and Robbie again from Full Send on the Brush. Now we get into the weapons that we saw slightly more often, but still far less than the most popular ones. Ballpoint was present through Storm, my teammate, in 11 matches, and only 2 other players picked the weapon once, both in Rainmaker Undertow. The first weapon with a major decrease in playtime from the last update is Splatana Stamper, which was only picked a total of 11 times, and for those that feared Kraken Royale would be meta, I'm happy to inform you that 96 Deco was only played 14 times. On the other hand, we saw a surprising amount of Trizuka weapons, mainly in Splattershot and Carbon Deco, which were played 26 and 16 times, mostly by Squidding Good, which with 3 one-tricks, 96 Deco, Splattershot and Carbon Deco on the team, still managed to get to 2 qualifier matches, but losing both of them 0-3 to my team, Zero Deaths, and Alliance Rogue. The 3 last weapons before getting to the top 5 of the tournament are Heavy Splatling with 25, Dark Tetra Dualies only played by Isabel, Orion and Fuzzy but 26 times, which ties it with the Tendertex Splattershot, and the most surprising increase for Tri-Slosher Nouveau, which was played 31 times, almost all of them on Splatstone's Flounder Heights, which seems to be the new Slosher Paradise. You've made it this far into the video, let's finally get to the top 5 most picked weapons of the tournament. On 5th, we have Splatana Viper, which many already claim to be the new best weapon in the game, but with 32 picks total, only 1 more than Trinouveau, it wasn't played as much as you might expect, and with it being played in 31 matches, with one of them having a Viper on both teams, it gives it a 0.38 average to be picked in a match and the 5th spot on this list. 52 Gal was picked, you guessed it, 53 times, which is much more than I thought it would be, and gives you a 0.62 average of 52 Gals a match and a comfortable 4th spot on this list. What comes next is maybe a surprise to you, but shouldn't be if you paid attention at the start of the video. 13 matches. That's the amount of matches we did not see a single V-Splash. V-Splash is, after all, still an incredibly strong weapon, and Nintendo basically just gave it the perfect kit, which makes it incredibly hard to balance without hurting other weapons like Splatana Stamper, which struggles to cope with the most recent Burst Bomb nerf. The remaining 72 matches featured 112 splashes. This means that the majority of matches we only saw 1 out of 8 players pick Splash. And with the highest amount of splashes in a match at 3, double splash on both teams actually never happened throughout the entire tournament. This made the amount of crabs feel much more balanced and the game a lot faster, since you didn't have a mech that held down 1/3 of the map for 8 seconds. On the second spot though, I have bad news for you. If you don't like Splash, Neo Splash got played 127 times and was not picked only in 8 out of 85 matches. This means that both Splash variants combined make up for 239 of the 680. That's slightly more than 1/3 of weapon selects in the tournament. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. I'm extremely happy because I know that at other tournaments, like the North American Championship at PAX, V-Splash had a 50% pick rate. The stronger the state of V-Splash, the less other weapons you will see in tournaments. The main reason Neo Splash and also T-Tech got picked was just to counter crabs. The less crabs, the more weapons you get to see that actually get into fights, like Vipers, Tetras, Carbons, and many others. And the decrease from 4 crabs to mostly 1 per lobby is massive, and makes this battle look like an entirely new game. Finally, on number 1, the weapon that got picked 143 times is the Sloshing Machine, which again sounds and really is a whole lot. But throughout all 85 matches, we only saw double sloshing on a team 3 times. Even after the ink consumption, Booyah Bomb and Fizzy nerfs, this weapon just looks like it's here to stay. Thinking of OP weapons, sloshing usually gets overlooked because there has been much more focus on Splash. I'm very curious to see how many splashes we will see in the next qualifier tournament, which happens next Saturday. Neo Splash is not better than Splash, but I'm looking forward to see this meta develop, especially if it means that we will see more different comms and less losses already caused on the weapon select screen. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you think of the most recent balance patch and if you noticed fewer Splash players in your games. Thanks for watching, see ya in the next one.